When doing the unit test, we have to test all three layers, which is repository layer, service layer, and controller layer. So let's go to the customer service project first. And in this project, under the SRC, we have all code under the main folder. And here we have the packages for controllers, service, repository, and so on. Likewise, we have another folder called test, and we are going to add the unit test inside this. So before adding the unit test, we need to have the same structure inside this test folder as well. So here, let me add the package structure. So we need to add the repository, and also we need to add the service package, and also controller. And in the pom.xml file, we also need a dependency, and that dependency is already included. Spring Boot starter test dependency. When we create the project using a Spring Initializer, it's automatically added to the pom.xml. So we don't need to add it again. So the next thing is do the testing. We need to have a in-memory database. For that purpose, we want to add another dependency to add the H2 in-memory database. So let's go to the Spring Initializer, and if we go to this, and if we search the H2, let's go to the Explore, and this is the dependency we need to add into the pom.xml file when we are going to do the unit testing. So I will add that dependency here. And next I will load the Maven changes. First, we are going to do the unit testing of the repository layer. And when unit testing repository layer, we should not connect to a real database. That's why we added the dependency for H2 in-memory database. And since repository layer does not depend on any dependencies other than DB, we are also not going to use any mocking framework like Mockito in unit testing the repository layer. So let's go to the application.properties file, and we have these details in our application.properties file. So we have specified the data source URL for the MySQL database, and we have specified the username for the MySQL database, password, and we have specified those details to connect to the MySQL database. Since we are not going to connect to the MySQL database when unit testing the repository layer, I am going to comment out these things for now. and I will add some other properties. I will add the server port as 8090, and also I will add spring.jpa dot show -sql as true. So what this property does is it enables the logging of all SQL statements that are generated by Hibernate. So this will be very useful when we are doing the unit test, because in the console we are able to see the SQL statements. So that's why we are going to add this property. And also now we are going to use a different data source URL. We will give the URL as this: jdbc h2 mem let's give something like testdb, and I'm going to specify the driver class name now: spring dot data source dot driver class name, and it will be org dot h2 dot driver. And next I'm going to add this spring dot h2 dot console dot enabled as true. So we are adding this property, and it will allow access to the H2 database console, and it's a browser based UI for interacting with the in-memory H2 database.